and welcome to Off the Shelf, your inside look at the Wayne County Public Library. I'm Miriam, your friendly neighborhood librarian, and today we have a bunch of fun segments for you, like a new upcycling, a new staff picks video, an inside look at our summer reading club program, information about our Living History Day here at the library, and so much more. So, let's get started with our new staff picks video. Hi, and welcome to our staff picks today. Today we have a bit of a different setup. We're going to talk about Mo Willems' books. If you're not familiar with Mo Willems, he has won 6 Emmys for his writing on Sesame Street, and his other books like Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus and his Elephant and Piggy books have all won different awards like the Caldecott Honor, the Theodore Seuss Geisel Medal, and different Theodore Seuss Geisel honors. Let's get started.
Hi, my name is Nathan, and I work in the Circulation Department at the Wayne County Public Library, and I'm going to introduce 2 books to you today that feature The Pigeon by Mo Willems. The first one is The Pigeon Needs a Bath. I do not. One of my personal favorites. In this book, several individuals tell him how filthy he is and how much he really needs a bath. And he resists, but you'll just have to tune in and read it to see what happens later on. Another one is The Pigeon Wants a Puppy. He's always asking for things, be it driving a bus, a cookie, or a puppy. Things he's probably not equipped to deal with, but he thinks he wants anyway. And eventually he does meet a dog, and you'll just have to read the book to find out what happens at the end. As a parent, I enjoy both of these because these are things that are relevant to kids, and it makes them think things through a little bit more. And artwork is wonderful.
What is The Pigeon Needs a Bath your son's favorite book?
No, that would be The Pigeon Finds a Hot Dog. Which was my first introduction to the pigeon.
It's a good one.
Yes, I found it in the hot dog museum at a hot dog shop.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's crazy.
This is long before I even had children, and I thought he was amazing. I'm a long-time fan.
Well, the pigeon's awesome.
I think so.
My name is Darlene, and I work in the Circulation Department of the Wayne County Public Library. And the book that I have is Elephants Cannot Dance by Mo Willems. And this is one in the series of the Elephant and Piggy books. And these are first readers, so they are really good for children who are just learning how to read. It uses simple words and humorous illustrations to help children learn how to solve problems by working together. So Elephant and Piggy are best friends, and one day Piggy decides that he wants to teach his friend how to dance. But even though Elephant wants to learn how to dance, he thinks he cannot because he read a book that says what elephants can do. And on page 11, apparently, it says that they cannot dance. So Piggy decides that it doesn't say that he cannot try to learn how to dance. So Elephant decides he will try. So he tries, and he tries, and he tries some more. But it's very challenging for an elephant to learn dance moves, and so he gets discouraged and wants to give up. But just as he starts to give up, something very surprising happens, and it may not be what you think it is. So you're just going to have to read the book to find out what happens.
Darlene, was it hard for the elephant Gerald to learn how to dance?
It was very hard because elephants don't move very quickly or easily. So he wanted to give up.
But he persevered.
And
Good
he
for
kept
him.
trying. So.
Yay.
Yes.
Okay.
Does he have good dance moves?
The best.
Best.
Yes.
Cool.
The best.
Okay, hi, I'm Miriam. I'm an adult librarian here at the Wayne County Public Library, and my first book is The Duckling Gets a Cookie. In this book, so the duckling, so let's just call him a friend of the pigeon, although I'm not so sure if they're like best friends, but the duckling asks politely for a cookie, and he gets one, and then the pigeon finds out, and the pigeon gets very upset because he asks for things all the time, but he never gets them because the pigeon is just a tad bit irresponsible. So so you just have to find out, does the pigeon get a cookie? And then in the next one is Edwina, the dinosaur who didn't know she was extinct, is about Edwina and Reginald von Hooby Dooby, who Reginald is He thinks he knows everything about everything, and he definitely knows that dinosaurs are extinct, except for the anomaly that is Edwina, who likes to help old ladies across the street and eat chocolate chip cookies, and bake them for all the little kids in the town. So when Reginald tries to tell everybody that Edwina is supposed to be extinct, no one listens to him, and he becomes very, very frustrated because no one is listening to him until one day somebody finally does. So those are my 2 books, and yeah.
So what's your favorite kind of cookie, Miriam?
My favorite kind of cookie is a chocolate chip cookie.
Oh.
With no nuts.
With no nuts?
Just like the Duckling.
Okay. That's boring.
What? Did you say it was boring?
Just chocolate chip cookie?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the cookie. It can be boring, but it can not be boring too.
They're delicious. They're classic. Classic. Okay.
My name is Nick Starr, and I'm a children's librarian at the Wayne County Public Library, and I also have some Mo Willems books, but mine are not the usual Elephant and Piggy or Pigeon books. They're some of his different works. So the first one is Goldilocks and the 3 Dinosaurs, which obviously features 3 dinosaurs and Goldilocks. And there's a Papa Dinosaur, a Mama Dinosaur, and then some random dinosaur from Norway who's just visiting. So it's obviously a riff off of Goldilocks and 3 Bears, but it's done with Mo Willems' normal humor. So the dinosaurs are, for no apparent reason, cooking pudding and making their beds all nice and tidy. And then for no apparent reason, just decide to wander off out into the woods and hang out by the street. And they're totally not setting a trap for some random little blonde girl to come into their house to eat a bunch of pudding so they have a bonbon to eat. So it's very much following Goldilocks and 3 Bears, and you'll have to read the rest to find out whether she outwits all 3 dinosaurs who are very bad at hiding and not making snickering comments the whole time. The second book is Leonardo the Terrible Monster, and it's obviously about a monster who's terrible, not because he's frightening, but because he is the exact opposite of being frightening. He would very much like to be frightening, but he basically struggles to be a very terrifying, terror-inspiring monster, and ends up finding a little sad little boy who he thinks he can actually scare, and he does make the boy cry, but it's not because he's scared, and they become friends. But you'll have to read more to figure out why Leonardo is not that bad of a monster in the end. And then the third book is actually a beginning chapter book by Mo Willems, and it's illustrated by Tony Dietzherzilli. And it's not really like some of his other picture books that he's done. But it's called The Story of Diva and Flea, and it's about a cat named Flea and a dog named Diva who both live in Paris, France, and it's actually inspired by real events from Mo Willems' life in wanting to live in France. So it's mostly about how the 2 animals are able to kind of help each other out and overcome some obstacles, which is very much a theme in a lot of Mo Willems' books. So like Diva, the dog, likes to run out in her little garden and bark at things and then run away because she's terrified of them. And Flea, the cat, likes to flaneur around France, which just basically means wandering around to look at things because you can. And he kind of gets Diva to not be so afraid and to kind of go outside, while Diva gets Flea to come inside and see that things are okay inside and that you can eat breakfast and coffee, as in like coffee. And so there's a lot of that kind of humor in the book, but it's another one about kind of coming together and overcoming obstacles. Both really good.
Nick, which one was your favorite out of those 3?
Goldilocks and the 3 Dinosaurs.
Why?
Because I like folk tales and fairy tales and like the classics of those. So like anytime someone does a retelling, it's always interesting to see how they do that. And Mo Willems doesn't really retell it in this because it's pretty much just a completely different story. It's just vaguely using the outline of that. So pretty much kids are going to know that they're spoofing off Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, but it's like very obviously not actually Goldilocks and 3 Bears.
Cool.
And there's dinosaurs. Everyone loves dinosaurs.
Everyone loves dinosaurs. Okay, I hope you enjoyed our staff picks for today. If you're interested in any of the titles that we went over, you can get them at any of our libraries, or they might be on Overdrive. And don't forget to check out Hoopla and Flipster. Here's an inside look at our Friends of the Library book sale. It's happening the weekend of July 13th and the 14th, with a preview sale for members and staff on Thursday, July 12th. So let's check it out.
Hi, I'm Mindy, and I'm a volunteer for Friends of the Library.
And I'm Scott. I'm also a volunteer.
And we'd like to talk to you about our summer sale, which will be
July 12th through July 14th.
on the 14th is a Saturday. We have bag day, and you can buy a whole bag of books for $5. The other times that you can come, Thursday, Friday, the books are from $0.25 to $1.25. We feature a lot of different books in our library. Children's books, books about animals. We have sets of encyclopedias. We have CDs, videos, lots of things to choose from that you would get in any library.
What could you tell us what the money raised by the book sale is used for?
We go to help the library for things that they might need, such as a special machine, a printer, or maybe did buy a statue in honor of one of our former employees who passed away, and the library usually makes requests to things that they can't get with regular funding, and we can help out with that.
Well, Scott, do you want to tell us how you first got involved with the book sale with the Friends of the Library?
Well, I'm in a book club, and I have a lot of friends who are in the Wooster Friends, the library. They're involved, and through them, I got myself involved.
Oh, I assume it takes a lot of work getting ready for the sale. It looks like you have a lot of materials to handle.
Yeah, sorting out all these books and then putting them on the right shelves, in the right order.
Yeah, and you work how many days a week?
I'm just here one day a week. I come here on Tuesdays.
Could you talk about the subject areas you have in the book sections that are popular?
We do have a lot of religion. I think that is popular for a lot of Bibles and religious books and different things like that. We also have books on cooking, baking, and what else?
A lot of children's books, a lot of young adult books, just about any topic you can think of. It's here. There are thousands of books here.
Animals. You have animals, lots of animals, pets, dinosaurs, great fiction, cooking.
Lots of books on dogs.
Gardening, anything you want, we'll probably be able to help you find it. That will be July 12th, 13th, and 14th. The 14th is a Saturday.
It'll be 9 to 4:30 on Thursday and Friday, and 9 to 2 o'clock on Saturday.
Saturday is bag day, and you can buy anything you can fit in a bag for $5.
Next up, we have our Civil War Living History Day recap.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank you all for returning, those of you that were with us during the morning session. What you see in front of you is an actual Civil War regimental band from the American Civil War. This is the 73rd Ohio Volunteer Infantry Band. The band is using all original instruments from the period of the American Civil War. Even some of the musicians date back that far themselves. The first tune, the band's going to kick things home. The band is under the direction of Bandmaster Second Lieutenant John Duckling. Joining us here in just a minute. We're going to kick off this afternoon's concert with a tune called Hail Columbia. This was written in 1789 by Philip File. It was written for the inauguration of George Washington. This tune became very, very popular. It was one of the most popular patriotic tunes of the 19th century, often regarded as the unofficial national anthem of the United States. Congress finally decided in 1931 the Star Spangled Banner would become our national anthem. Hail Columbia was not even in the running when that voting took place. And obviously nobody in Congress could sing or they never would have chosen the Star Spangled Banner. But anyway, Hail Columbia today is the official national anthem of the Vice President of the United States.
Oh, I like that difference.
All right, can you tell us a little bit about the Civil War Roundtable?
Well, that's something I kind of inherited back, I guess, going on 7 years ago now, and I had attended, and I've had such a great time, and I have to say, I cannot say how much I appreciate the wonderful cooperation here of the libraries, and that this is a wonderful facility, and you folks just bend over backwards to help out with, especially for setting up for our Civil War History Day that we have. We just this last Saturday before Mother's Day we had a great time with that. So that was our 6th annual.
Was the Living History Day your idea?
Well, that's kind of, although I think other people very readily went along with it too. It's something that we felt that Worcester needed to have something like this. So.
How many groups come to the Civil War Living History Day?
Well, we had close to 70 or 75 reenactors, and about 20 are in the 73rd OVI Regimental Band, and they're spread out. All their director is Columbus, Ohio, and I know one general's in Smithville and one in Cleveland, and all, but about 20 of them, and they play original Civil War instruments, which go back over 150 years old now, so, and they have such a neat sound. Mm-hmm. And of course the instruments have been restored and maintained and all, they're very accomplished musicians. About half of them are alumni of the Ohio State Marching Band.
Oh, wow.
And then a number of them are in the 122nd Ohio National Guard Band also. They're excellent, and I guess I'm partial, but they get better and better every year, I think. So.
Great. What programs are coming up this fall?
Well, I do have lined up September 18th. I have a retired attorney, John Fazio, that's from Fairlawn. Will be speaking on the story of the Union General Francis Barlow, his wife Arabella, and the Confederate General John B. Gordon and his wife Fanny. Both of the wives followed their husbands from battlefield to battlefield, and each nursed her husband back to good health after being wounded. And well, here they became good friends, the generals from opposite sides, and well, here they happened to meet in battle. And after the war was over, they became reacquainted again. And my closing statement here, you will be amazed how the story ends. And then October 16th, at our normal meeting night, is the third Tuesday of the month. John Gurnish, who is from up in Cuyahoga Falls area, he'll speak on the Franklin case and the 2nd Ohio Cavalry. Mr. Case was a resident of Wellington in Lorain County, and the well-traveled 2nd Ohio Cavalry hailed mostly from the northeastern Ohio. By the way, I think the word cavalry must be the most mispronounced word in the whole English language. So many times it comes out Calvary, which I bite my tongue to keep from correcting people. And then November, I do have a gentleman coming up from Westerville, Van Young, the name, and he'll be speaking on the Confederate prison, Andersonville. And the trial of Captain Wirz, that was the commanding officer there at Andersonville. Well, I have a comment here that Andersonville, to say the least, is a thought-provoking and challenges the group to decide on whether Captain Wirz got a fair trial. And well, I'll just mention that Captain Wirz was hung after war. He was convicted and hung for the terrible atrocities, and I can't help but saying too, many of the Union prisons for the Confederate prisoners were not much better, if any better, than a lot of the Confederate prisons. It just makes me shudder to think about those poor fellows, and a lot of them, when they finally were released from the prison at the end of the war, just skin and bones. They did not get nearly enough, well, I just cannot imagine how horrible that was for those poor fellows. So that's what I have lined up for this fall yet, and one of the blessings of my presenting Abraham Lincoln is all the wonderful people that I have met, and people are so glad to come to Worcester to present here. Well, just a couple weeks ago, I met a fine gentleman, John Burke, that happens to be the Medina County Treasurer, and I was amazed when I heard that. But well, I heard him present Lieutenant Frederick Feaster, the only soldier from Medina County to be awarded the Medal of Honor. And Lieutenant Feaster was involved with General Rosecrans, and I can't help but mention General Rosecrans from the state of Ohio was an outstanding general. He had a great misfortune at the Battle of Chickamauga. And I presume everybody's aware of General Grant, General Sherman, and General Sheridan, all from the state of Ohio. And when I'm speaking, I quite often lead a cheer, "Yay, Ohio!" for these generals from Ohio. Well, Mr. Burke, we look forward. Hopefully this coming February. I don't have that.
Next up, we have a personal service announcement about Summer Reading Club.
3, 2, 1. Summertime. Ready to rock? Yo, let's make some noise. Yo, it's the spot for the girls and boys. The library make your mind very powerful. Hours full of entertainment, devour education. That's how you get to change the world while you learn about it. You're a rock star full of superpower music. Now it's summertime. Ready or not? Yo, let's make some noise. Libraries rock for the girls and boys.
Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in learning more about any of our books, programs, or other events, you can check us out on our Facebook page or website. Here's a special look at our Civil War concert from our Civil War Living History Day.